You can't hear me. Where's audio at? Yeah, you should be able to hear me. Sean.
You can't hear me.
Yeah, I hear you
My
now.
thing was muted. So
I feel like I haven't talked to you in like a couple weeks.
yeah, that's because we haven't talked in a couple weeks. They skipped last week. 4th of July things.
Nice haircut.
Oh yeah. Didn't I have this last time we talked? I'm pretty sure I did.
I don't know. It was so long ago.
It was after because I cut it right before the marathon. So I think right after or right before I went to the marathon. So I'm trying to think of if I had that before or if I had it right after. But anyways, yeah, that was always the plan.
Hey, gambler.
Oh god.
Odie doesn't want to spend the limited time that he has editing tech conception videos that we record. I'm thinking, like, why can't we just have raw phone calls that are recorded and just stick our profile images on it and just be done with it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much like dead space you have in them. It's not too bad to edit them on YouTube. You can always put out the raw one and then go back and edit it after the fact. It's not like I've done that before. Put your thumbnail in and stuff. But
Well, I'm talking about editing the actual video,
yeah,
throwing up links and animations and cutting out stuff that aren't congruent with the agenda of the discussion.
yeah. I mean, so when I did some of that stuff, you go in and in YouTube. Have you done it before?
I have no interest, but no.
No, you just
Like
go into
I edit the textual content. Like I put in the
yeah.
descriptions and the time slices, but he does the actual video editing.
Yeah. Well, you can do that all in the browser on YouTube for the most part. You can add an intro and then a whatever, a card or with your faces on it or whatever you're gonna do, and then you can cut out whatever you want there. But it does take time because you have to to know what you need to cut out. You have to watch the entire thing. So unless you're religiously time stamping stuff
Yeah,
as you
well,
go.
you can still watch it. I think up to two 2x or 2.5x the speed.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I edit at 2x. Like when I'm putting in the textual descriptions, I just play it at 2x. So an hour video takes half an hour. Well, I mean, an hour video is half an hour, but it doesn't take half an hour for me to edit it. It still takes probably like, no, it does. It does. It takes about 35 minutes for an hour video because I'm editing in real time as it's playing.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. You could always hire someone to do it too.
Nah. It looks like it's the end of it. It's the end of tech. Everything I do is a failure. Hey, gambler. In other news, I bought a hipster keyboard.
Oh,
That's
you
cool.
did. Nice. Good. What did you get? You hear me?
No, that's what gambler said.
Oh gosh, that's what you said. All right, well, Gambler, man, sorry.
That's all right. I forgive you.
Wonder what he got. I kind of thought like, you ever been to the Mall of America?
You talking about in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there once.
So like, I always thought it'd be kind of cool to have a shop in there, like a really small shop where where you build your own keyboard. So you have a bunch of blanks with the keyboards without the keys. They're all cherry keys. You can pick the type of cherry key you want, or I don't remember if it's cherry. Is a type of. But anyways, sorry, I'm a little
What does
slow
that
this
have to
morning.
do with Mall of America?
Well, I just thought it'd be cool to have a store where you go in and you build your own keyboard,
Uh,
because you can there's a lot of artists and like keys that people make and stuff like that, and you could just have sets of different kinds of keys that you could put in, and then you could choose what your function keys are or whatever, and put all sorts of styles and designs and just have bins of like different kinds of keys. People could just go through and build their own keyboard.
no, you would go and build your own keyboard because no one else would show up for it.
I think people would. I think you would get people like, oh, cool. But I don't know how niche it is. I mean, it's probably pretty niche to the software engineering community.
He bought a glove, 80.
Yeah, that I'm looking that up now. Oh, that's like a really uh, weird, cute, not weird, but like a geeky keyboard. I don't know. I thought you were talking just a mechanical, like a nice mechanical one, but this is like a ergonomic. Oh man, that's cool. Um, but yeah, like I don't know. Maybe it's too niche. I just thought it'd be kind of cool because I mean, but so many kids are on like maybe it wouldn't do so well because so many kids just use tablets and stuff now. Like that's actually something I lament. Like all the devices that we grew up with, for the most part, had keyboards attached to them. So there was like and eventually mice. So there was like a strong sense of input. Um, Whereas once you eliminate those, now you just like the device is totally switched over from input, something where you're going to create things, to being like a consumption device because it's just a screen. And I mean, you can, I guess, if you have a pencil or something, you can do drawing and stuff like that. But or Apple Pencil or like a Surface Pen or whatever. But otherwise, it's pretty much there just for consumption. Just like the form factor of the devices we use changed in a way that skews towards consumption. Sorry, that's me going off on a random tangent.
I
I
watched a
think.
you
Oh, go ahead.
I watched a YouTube video on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It was a documentary on how they got scammed. It was funny.
How Who Wants to Be a Millionaire got scammed?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
there was a contestant that was cheating. That was working with uh in he was working with a ex contestant or a past contestant, and anytime they would say options A through D, um, the the person in the audience would cough anytime the the contestant on stage would go through the options as he was performing critical thinking.
Huh.
And so he had $1 million, dollars, and then they had called him and said that they're not going to give it to him. I mean, they all knew something was up, but they just couldn't prove it. And then towards the latter part of the show, where I think where he got to like 250,000, it became more and more obvious because I guess the contestant was feeling a lot of pressure, and so he kept on wanting confirmation. He would want on the $1 million question. He wanted 4 confirmations.
Hmm.
So it was blatantly obvious that the contestant kept coughing each time he had brought up the answer when he was iterating through the various options that could be the answer.
Hmm.
It was from 2001, I think. Yes, it's
It's
a super
crazy.
nice keyboard. I'm relearning to type, especially the letters I've used the wrong finger for in regular keyboard. I dropped out of typing classes in high school. I think it
Yeah,
was
I
high
think
school.
I think in grade school I had like one thing where we had Apple IIs set up, and they had the these wooden boards they'd put over your hands, and you had to do typing on it. Um, I did that, and I didn't really understand the value of it. I mean, they even had us program on the Apple II, and had no idea what was going on at the time. Like programming really didn't click to me until college, like what it was and like how it was useful. I mean, high school a little bit, like programmed calculator, but I just didn't really put together what it all was.
After how many hours of writing code does your brain turn to mush?
I don't know. I could, if I'm interested in the problem, I could literally go for days, probably.
Mine is like mine is probably about 4 to 5 hours. Well, 4 hours, and then my mind just it has a hard time continuing to be effective.
Yeah, I think when it's something I'm really interested in, like if I was building a framework and I was really interested in the framework and how to construct it and the problem that I'm trying to solve, I can get into that hyper focus where literally I can just do this.
Flow.
I could literally sit here for a whole day and not even, you know, not even realize the time went by.
I'm
I've
writing
done
a
it before.
I'm writing a parser, and my mind turns to mush after about 4 hours each time I revisit it.
Oh, parsers are fun.
I have to write like several of them. They're not fun. I hate it
Why? Why they're fun?
because it's error prone.
Well, I guess if you know the syntax too, you could always pass it into a syntax generator. There's a whole language for writing syntax something, and then they'll write the parser for you. I can't remember. It's like ant and something else. I don't remember. I've looked this up before.
Nerd.
There are no miniature bull terriers in Florida for sale.
Yeah, I haven't checked in a couple weeks.
We're buying another dog today.
Another one. What happened to the one
Yeah,
that you have?
we still have them, but we always had a plan to get two, at least. I still actually think three would be good, but because we've got one bigger dog and now we're getting a smaller dog. But I feel like the bigger dog could leverage having a larger dog that could kind of match his
Isn't that expensive
style.
to maintain, like vet visits and maintenance and stuff?
Oh, really? Unless they have a problem, vet visits are like once a year, and they're like, a couple $100 or whatever. I mean, and then food is gotten kind of expensive, but I mean, I'm not exactly like a low income bracket, so I'm definitely like middle
So
class or
to
upper
get
middle
a
class.
to get a dog's teeth clean, I think was
See, that's maybe the difference.
I thought it was 400 to get a dog's teeth
Mm,
cleaned.
I don't know, maybe in Florida, but I don't. I've never gotten dog's teeth clean. We just
Did
throw
your
them a
dogs
bone.
lose its teeth?
We just throw them a bone.
My dog lost 17 teeth.
What age though?
It was over time, but he started losing his teeth probably at the age of maybe 6 or 7.
No, I mean we had our last Frenchie started to lose, or his teeth got really like I wouldn't say that they just got kind of like I don't even know how to describe it. Um, Loose maybe once he started to get into his teens or not teens, but like after 10 years maybe. I don't think our last retriever ever lost any teeth other than his baby teeth.
Mm,
Like she had some yellow in her teeth, but I mean, she was white faced and everything too, so she was an elderly dog, but she could still chew food and everything like that. And um, dogs, you just give them a bone and they kind of clean their own teeth on that bone.
mm.
It's kind of what they do. Do you ever give your dogs bones, like
Yeah,
animal
but I
bones?
mean, they didn't have access to a bone throughout their entire lifetime. It wasn't just a bone always sitting there every day for them
Oh,
to gnaw on.
yeah. So we have bones that are there, and so what'll happen is the dog will just occasionally go up and just hold in their paws and start chewing on it,
Mm.
and that pretty much cleans their teeth. So, but yeah, I don't know. We don't really. I never grew up with my parents taking the dog to the vet more than once a year to get rabies shots and stuff like that, or vaccines, and then like heartworm and stuff like that. And then if beyond that, if he was sick or whatever, if he had Lyme's disease once and stuff like that.
Are you fully healed from the marathon?
Yeah, yeah. I started running again this week, so I'd say I'm fully healed. My foot still hurts from before the marathon, but I don't know. It seems to be getting a little better.
Mm. How does it feel to have that type of stamina?
Yeah, I think about that. That sometimes like I can tell all the ladies that I'll never marry or give a chance with or ever do anything with. Oh, I got tons of stamina.
There you
I'm
go.
a marathon. It's kind of like the governor of Minnesota said that he was an endurance athlete, and he's this kind of bigger fella. And people look at him like, yeah, sure. But
Wasn't
you could be a
Jesse the Body Ventura? He was the governor of Minnesota, right?
yep, yeah, for sure. Now he hawks his own brand of THC gummies.
KFC gummies.
THC
Oh, like what is KFC? What?
pot
What?
gummies. KFC gummies. That would be
He must
good.
be catering towards the black market.
Wonder what that would taste like if you like put a.
You have a delayed reaction.
No, I was just thinking back to my earlier comment where I mistook
Soul food.
KFC for. I was like, yeah, we could make them like soul food gummies,
No, I asked you.
KFC flavored.
I had asked you if you ever had soul food before. You said KFC. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, I was thinking, like I said, what went through my mind was comfort food, which KFC is a kind of comfort food, but I
I
don't
also
know why.
remember the MC Hammer commercial for popcorn chicken at KFC.
Hmm,
I don't understand why black people are obsessed with chicken. It's weird. It's
I
like
don't know.
black people are as obsessed with chicken as white people are as salami. I think that's the analogy.
I don't
You
think
love you
I
love
don't think
salami.
no. Well,
Yeah,
some salamis,
yeah,
but
you love salami. You like parsnips.
I think no, not parsnips. I think that's an Italian thing more, isn't it? Salami and those kinds of meats. I mean, people like
Italian,
it.
Irish, German, they're all the same.
Yeah, right. It's surprising how much like just diversity there is within the white
You're,
structures of Europe. Like
yeah.
just like Italians versus Irish versus Norwegians, or they're like totally different people. I mean, and I just can't imagine that like the Portuguese, the Spanish, the French, and like the Germans all have their own language, and they live so in such proximity to each other. But I guess that's maybe the truth of every large piece of land that had tribes. They all had their land, and they all developed their own language. And
Well, isn't China the same way? I mean, before it got, I thought Mandarin and what is it, Cantonese? I don't know them.
yeah,
And then they probably have a whole bunch. Even in the Philippines, they got a whole bunch of different languages.
yeah.
Tagalog, and then
But
I
I
don't
feel
know.
like Asia is a lot bigger and has a lot more like land structures. But maybe Europe, maybe with the mountain regions in the middle there,
You know what
maybe
annoys
it
me?
keeps them all apart.
What annoys me is whenever I'm calling like some healthcare service, this annoys me. This is my pet peeve. I shouldn't have to dial one for English or two for Spanish.
Press one
It should
for
just be
English.
English, and it's on you to learn the language. That annoys me.
Primo dos.
I literally have to waste like 10 to 15 seconds of my life listening to the prompt on Espanol or English. When we live in an English speaking country, all the signs are in English. Like, F that. You come over here, you speak English, even if it's broken. I don't care, man. I shouldn't have to wait 15 seconds every time I want to call an automated machine so I can talk to somebody.
Yeah, I think maybe the thing there is that like certain things you don't want to, you don't want to have broken English mess it up. So um,
I don't
I
care.
don't know.
Tech Conception, we interviewed a junior developer. I think it was a really good show. He created some reaction videos. It was good. That's our attempt at trying to reach mainstream or trying to reach mainstream since a lot of our content is more senior.
Mm. A junior, what'd you learn, or what should the people learn that watch it?
Well, Odie and I, we tend to have polarizing perspectives on things. I was advocating be a servant of your industry instead of uh, putting all your eggs in your current employer. Prioritize the industry over your employer. Um, Meaning make contributions, focus on documenting your journey or your practice, and consider being a big fish in a small pond when it comes to your specialty versus doing everything that mainstream does. And maybe there's opportunities for employment, but how do you really differentiate yourself from the hundreds of thousands of other developers that are all doing the same stack that you're doing?
Yeah, yeah. I
Odie,
guess
Odie disagrees.
niching down on something is probably pretty good. Um, I wonder if they have metrics like even from the Stack Overflow thing of how many people are in each framework, and then when you combine those frameworks, like how many people? Because I'm kind of now stuck in the .NET View, so like .NET backend View front end, like that's kind of my specialty or my stack. Like I could maybe get a React job, but I'd be coming in and doing mostly back end with some front end probably. Um, but I mean, Vue, I've done Vue as a full stack developer. Actually, I do mostly front end now.
Hold on, what's .NET View?
.NET and Vue, sorry.
What's that?
Well, .NET's .NET, standard web services or whatever, ASP.NET Core Web
You
Services.
said in View.
End, sorry, end ampersand Vue.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
VUE,
I never heard of that before.
the front end, the front end framework Vue
Okay.
versus React or Angular or whatever. So
.NET and View. Okay,
and
I understand now.
say opportunity once.
Opportunity.
Okay.
What?
I was noticing there was an ad around here, and there was an obviously black gal, and she said opportunity. I was like, I wonder if because I've heard
She
that
didn't.
before.
She didn't include the R.
Well, no, it's the like the overpronunciation of the T that caught me, and I was like, I
No, black
maybe
people.
heard like that accent among
No,
African Americans, and I was wondering because I think most
you.
white people would be like opportunity with
I
like a
love.
D sound.
I love how you say African Americans, but then you say white people.
What
So
do you want me to say? European Americans? Okay, sure.
no, like you avoided just saying black people, um,
Yeah,
which is more concise or terse. So like
the
something common.
blacks.
Yeah, the blacks. They refer to the Italians as the black European or black white people or whatever.
The Irish. Well, what are the Irish then? Because the Irish are also shat on a lot.
Yeah, but Italy is closest to Africa than any other European country, right? I mean,
Oh,
it sits on
sure.
top of
Well,
Africa.
Greece maybe, but well, no, I guess with the bottom. Yeah,
And
Spain.
plus,
Spain's really close to Morocco.
some can argue that the in regards to the jewelry and the quote unquote swag. They may have more similarities between those two cultures when it comes to the men.
Yeah, I suppose.
What was I about to say? Oh yeah, so it's common for black people to say "ax." You know what that
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
Ask me a question.
I was at a brewery a couple of weeks ago doing a fun run, and it's called they have axe throwing, and they in their signs they used axe axe as like as ask kind of as a pun, and I was gonna take a picture, send to my dad, be like, this place is racist. But
Ask
yeah.
me a question. I showed you the yeah. So in urban black culture, it's totally common for them to ignore the T. I think I showed you this one video, right? Of put respect on my name. Does that sound familiar?
Sounds familiar. But I always thought that. See, but is there a subset of black
Yes.
um ones that oh yeah, you showed
You're
me this
watching The Breakfast Club.
um
Make it
that
very
that
brief.
enunciate
All
like every syllable
yeah.
strongly, like that opportunity, like
When my name
it
come
was,
up,
the
respect
emphasis was on the T part.
with my fucking name. All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more. What?
No.
My name is EJ.
Yeah. So,
He's like, all I
just
came on here for was to tell you to shut up.
put respect
Bye.
on my name.
Yeah.
No. So so your English black folks, which I don't know any, but I mean, obviously they speak proper English, right? They enunciate their T's.
Hmm.
Um, say water.
Water.
Yeah, you left out the T.
Yeah, we tend to put D's in for like, I mean, maybe it's broadly, and maybe this is more of like maybe this is like a regional thing, not among whites or blacks, just in general. But I think like when there's a T, it'll get soft into that D sound. Water. I'll have a drink of water. We don't say water,
Yeah.
which is more appropriate, I suppose. Latter. The latter. I mean, you'll say it if there's a reason to differentiate, I suppose.
No, no, I say later. Oh no, you're right, because I use a D for saying later.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it sounds almost like a D, but you know it's T, so it's like I'll talk to you
Yeah.
later. Yeah, later. Maybe it's that is hard to
I'll talk
do,
to you
but
later. I
maybe it's
mean,
also
it,
maybe it's a women thing. I don't know. I swear I've heard like strong T's, and the way that she talks in this commercial, it's just just an interesting inflections on it. There's no value judgment there or anything. It's just I
well, it
was
requires more effort.
interested in how that. Yeah, it does.
Later, like it takes like 3 milliseconds to get that T out.
Yeah. There was this show on Netflix. It was called Outsourced, and I think it was a movie. And in the movie, maybe there was also a TV show, but in the movie, which was actually a pretty good movie, she was just explaining how Indian people speak better English than most, European people because they do enunciate things more fully. That they don't use a lot of reductions and stuff like that like we do. So slang. So I think the example that's your, say internet.
Internet.
Yeah, internet, but it's internet. Internet.
Yeah.
If you,
Well,
so yeah, so we kind of like make the T sound softer and internet, and then so the internet. So I don't know. I was just curious. Like I said, I don't know. I was just curious of whether that was a specific sub like black community like culture uh, accent, like Norwegians have an accent, like vague. Say bag or bag.
Bag.
Yeah, we say bag up here.
Is that like a Canadian thing?
I don't know if it's
Is it?
Norwegian or if it's closer to Canada. So we don't say it. I've gotten into the habit of saying a boot, but we generally don't say boot. It'd be about. Um, the funnier thing is I used to live in a little bit closer to Canada, and I used to use a lot, just randomly.
Mhm.
But as soon as I moved away from there, I don't use that as much. So I don't know how it.
Stillbirths affects 1 in 175 births. And each year, about 21,000 babies are stillborn in the United States. That is about the same as the number of babies that die during the first year of life. The reason I'm looking at this, someone told me like 1 in 6 babies are stillborn. I'm like, that can't be. No, that maybe
In the
he's talking about
world or in
maybe
the United States?
maybe he's talking about worldwide.
Yeah, because it might be worldwide. People don't. Not everyone has the same access to healthcare and stuff.
Let me see.
NICUs and
1 in 72 worldwide.
maybe he's talking like 50 years ago.
Maybe he's talking about during Adam and Eve's time.
Reminded me of a lyric from Eminem's song. It's like,
you know
if
who?
if they're not aborted, then they're stillborn because they're stillborn or something like that.
I want to do some skits.
Huh?
I said I want to do a skit.
A skit?
You still got me. It was you that told me about Terminator and Steve Jobs.
It's Terminator and Steve Jobs.
There should be a new Terminator movie in which Terminator specifically seeks out Steve Jobs because of the declining birth rate globally and the increased divorce rate, and now people are more isolated and alone and higher mental health diagnosis rate and stuff like
Nope, that
that.
ain't
All
me.
this was because of the smartphones. So Terminator goes back in time to terminate Steve Jobs because it's absolutely imperative, or else society's going to be what it is today.
No, that wasn't me.
The other skit is you're hip to the manosphere, right?
Maybe.
Manosphere is women are evil, and as soon as you have a baby, you get married to a woman, you're
Oh,
at that
no.
woman's mercy.
No.
There should be a skit where someone interviews Adam,
Yeah.
the Godfather.
There probably is already some stuff out there. Like, Adam, you better eat this apple right now.
I'm not going to give you any if you don't eat this apple, Adam.
Yeah.
Just like, shit. Like the man, the
if
boss
you
act
just
is so. It's the force, man. It makes you do things that just isn't right, but
and
you can't like. Then you have that post nut clarity, and you're like, I effed up.
you'd have to have like in the skit you'd have to have it so that he chokes on the apple right where his Adam's apple would be.
Dot,
So
dot, dot. What is the purpose of this besides identifying trannies?
your Adam's apple.
Yeah.
I know the lower it is, the deeper the voice you'll have. Like you
Really?
can feel it, and if you try to lower your voice, it'll descend down your thing. So if you want to talk in a lower voice, you can kind of set your finger on top of your Adam's apple, and then just make sure it doesn't go above that spot.
Yeah.
It'll
So
sound monotone, but
we go back to racial differences. I've always seen what's the word I'm looking for? Extreme, or what's the word I've always seen like strong Adam's apple features in young white men or teenagers in any
yeah,
other
some of them.
race. Where like it's as if their neck protrudes from the rest of their body,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
their Adam's apple is just it wants to come out of their neck. I don't think I've ever seen that within blacks, Asians.
Yeah, it must be a certain like sub variety of, because I've noticed that too, but it's not all I think it depends on like how tall and lanky they are.
Yeah, you have to be hella thin.
Yeah, like go to a marathon, and a lot of the guys that run will have that build.
Yeah.
Like the ones that are, especially the ones that are older, that are running the marathon maybe in their 40s, or that aren't just that are actually good. They got the long legs, and then they've got the protruding. I think of dentists for some reason that way, and doctors. A lot of doctors and dentists that would have that kind of feature for some reason. But
I would have never guessed that.
I don't know. But maybe if you've got more like, I don't know, maybe it's a certain subset of Europe that has those features. Because maybe if you're more German or Polish, maybe you don't. I don't know.
You think there's another version of people in another galaxy, or like on another planet?
Yeah, there has to be. There's just too much out there. Like,
Like human,
yeah,
like Star Wars.
like an infinitely large universe with.
Is it infinite?
There's a lot of galaxies. What is it like? You look up you see all the stars in our galaxy, and then you go out and like
No,
there's,
we don't see all the stars in our galaxy, but
well,
I
there
understand
you
what you're
see the
saying.
stars in the sky, and it's like then there's like more galaxies than that you could see in the sky. Like there's galaxies upon galaxies upon galaxies of other, you know, out there, and stuff that maybe we can't even see. I don't know. But there's so much. Now, whether we'd ever see them, probably not, unless we can somehow crack the faster than light. But even then, light years are, I don't know, and how you do, you got to bend space or whatever. But yeah, I mean,
I still think that you have to do some form of neural travel than physical travel.
yeah, I don't know, because still it takes a long time to send signals back and forth, even with light. I mean,
Well,
you
didn't
look
they
at
say
like,
with like quantum entanglement is instant, right?
yeah, maybe with quantum entanglement, but how do you get the particle over there? I don't.
We gotta
You
ask
know,
Chuck Norris.
so it's cool to think about, but I don't know, unless we come up with some. I mean, maybe, but then like even finding another thing to talk to would be difficult. So I watched this video the other day. They said if you take all of the space in the world, like, or in the universe, and you condense it down to our Earth's ocean, so you put an equivalency, Earth's oceans to the universe, right?
The what word?
Earth's oceans.
Oh, oceans. Okay.
Yep. So all the water on Earth, um, and the universe, and say that they're equivalent in size, then the amount of space that we've scanned and documented for other life and all that kind of stuff is about a 12-ounce glass of water out of the oceans.
I would think
So
it's less than that,
yeah, it's extraordinarily small
because that's the
compared to
observable universe. That's not
yeah.
the universe.
Well, maybe it's of the observable, but it's extraordinarily small how much we've actually looked at, and there's a lot out there. So
And
just finding them
and we've looked at
is
more
itself is a
in
difficult.
space than we have in our own ocean.
Yeah, I mean dolphins might be the aliens, right?
I would say octopus, octopi. I still think it should be
Octopi.
octopi.
Octopi sounds like something you'd search on Pornhub for.
I have.
You ever watch? I don't know. You don't watch a lot of TV probably, but have you ever watched the show The Boys
No.
on Amazon?
I just learned that there was a hurricane that hit like Houston yesterday.
Oh yeah, was that the end of Barrel? It came
Was-
through. Barrel was barreling through the
I
the
don't know. Someone just said that
Caribbean.
they don't have power. And I'm like,
Yeah,
you still don't have power? Why? He's like, oh, got hit by a hurricane. I'm like, what hurricane? I don't watch TV.
all the hurricanes, all the reason everyone else's home insurance is going up.
Everything's going up. Wholeflation, everything.
Yeah.
So The
Uh,
cost of having a girlfriend or a significant other, everything is going up.
yeah, well,
There's
unless
this
they.
really credible argument for being a John, as in soliciting like sex, is he made a really good case. Think about, well, I mean, you're out of touch, but think about someone that meets a woman and he wants to go out with her. Easy, easy, maybe average $100 spent on like hanging out for, let's say, approximately 4 hours, a Saturday or a Sunday. You think about feeding her, taking her to some entertaining spot, whether it's a museum or something that costs money to entertain, right? Easy $100. You may not even get a kiss at the end, right? And then you may not even hear from that person again. Or you may not even like that person after you start figuring out their personality type or their character. Or you could just go to that block somewhere in the city that's known for prostitution, and you get an instant return on investment with the same amount of money, probably less. Anyway, he was making a very credible argument. I think if more people heard his verbal essay, there would probably be a surge in police stings on prostitution. That's it.
So you'd get like sex totally instantly, or like an
Well,
STI.
I think most people are
Oh.
smart and they're not, and they're going to strap up.
My
But
my my
think about the
my.
cost of courting. Remember, I said wholeflation, and it's like these people want you to break bread just to like learn who they are.
I think you
Um,
you should try to look outside of the Miami bubble or the even the U.S. bubble. Like you should try to find yourself a nice. My dad always told me this about my brother because I was dating. He's like, you know what your brother should do? He goes, he should try to find an Eastern European woman because generally speaking, an Eastern European woman will be able to play chess with you, teach you astrophysics, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, they'll still cook you like this huge ass meal, and they get shit done. And
beef stroganoff.
I think every Eastern European woman that I've ever met has that same kind of like I don't know attitude or like
Well, down
air
here,
to them that they're extremely intelligent and they're like but they're and extremely hardworking and they I don't know they just support they're more like supportive so.
you talking about in Eastern Europe, or find Eastern European here in the States that is likely Americanized,
Like an end Eastern European that might be here on like a temporary
like
type thing.
Ukrainian women.
Yeah, yeah. Polish, Ukrainian, Slovenian, Slovakian. Um, you know what? What's over there? Belarus. Maybe stay out of Russia though. I think the Russians have a little bit more of an air about them. But
Mm.
find a Polish gal. She'll hook you up. I just watched an interview the other day. The guy was interviewing these Polish. What should I spend on a first date? She's like to these two Polish gals, very tall models. Oh, you don't have to spend anything. We'll just go on a walk, like at a park or something. You know, there you go. No cost commitment. So, but yeah, Eastern European. Just go visit. Visit Poland and report back to me. Did you go watch this guy on Twitter called I think his name's Speedy or something like that? I see him all over the place now. Um, Speedwork. I don't know what the hell his name is, but he went over to I think Poland. He's like a superstar over there. But I don't know. I might cut her short early here because we gotta leave to get that dog
What kind of dog is it? You said a small dog?
Yeah, it's a French bulldog. I knew my wife was like, "Oh, we don't need to get another Frenchie, da da da, da," and blah blah blah, because we had a French bulldog before, and a retriever. Oh, we don't need to get that, blah blah blah. And I'm just like holding off. I'm like, I'm not even gonna talk about other kind of dogs, really. Like we talked about like boxers and stuff like that, but and then this week she's finally like, "Yeah, I want another Frenchie." Like I knew it. So our last dogs were named Cassie and Riley, and Cassie was a larger dog, and Riley was a French bulldog. So Reggie's our big dog now, and we're gonna go with Charlie, I think, for this dog's name. Kind of, it creates a symmetry in my mind because the bigger dog was Cassie, and the less smaller dog was Riley. So you swap the R and the C to Reggie and Charlie. I don't know. There's this whole like wordplay that I like with their names that make it all work out. So, but
There you go.
I did see a miniature bull terrier in Minnesota for sale though. I was looking through.
How many months?
Let me see. Let me see if I can find him again.
You should pick it up for me, and then maybe I'll come up there and take it off your hands.
Oh no, it's gone. Must be gone. We'll just put in all states. Search all locations. Where are all the breeders at? Hot Springs, Arkansas, New York, Louisiana, Montana. Oh, here's Minnesota. Why couldn't I find that before? Male, 8 weeks old. $2,500. Let's see. This one is in Arizona, 1,000. Yeah, they're up there in French bulldog territory for prices. There's so many less of them though. This one looks like the target dog. Yeah, cute though. Stacy, Minnesota. Never been there.
Well, I got to reply to a text message.
Sounds good. Well, we'll you have the observable universe. I guess we'll pick it up next week. I think I'm going camping this week. I think next week I'm open, so it should be normal week next week. All right.
You should go camping in the Everglades.
No, dude, I'm not gonna go camping.
Make some money, snatching some pythons.
You should become a python hunter. You could start your own reality TV show. The Swamp Man of Florida.
Mandingo of the Everglades.
There you go.
Yeah.
You can get somebody to go out there with a GoPro and record you catching pythons. I bet people would watch that.
Yeah.
Then you could, at the end, you could have a meal of python meat. Can you
is that a thing?
Can you eat them? I don't know. I assume you can.
You eat gators. Well, mongoose, octopi and mongoose. I mean, mongoose. Mongoose sounds better than mongooses, right? But yeah, they eat snakes.
Yeah.
And so do king cobras.
So just unleash
cobras in
natural
general.
predator for cobras in the Everglades.
They should introduce Komodo dragons to the Everglades.
There you go. And then a kid would die in
Tech Conception, the Wild Tour.
Yeah.
That's funny.
What is it? Tech Conception's Gone Wild?
We're doing a rebrand.
We're going to use technology to hunt pythons in the Everglades.
On that note, it's been real.
Radar. All right. Yep. Have a good weekend. All right.
Bye.